anything, purely education. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. And as always, if you guys have questions, ask away. With a broker, yes, Thomas, in the next couple months, yes, we're bringing in PAMs, we're bringing in other solutions and so forth with the brokers that will be at over time or weeks. So yesterday's setup was pretty simple, pretty good, pretty awesome. What I was seeing right here is on the gold, we had a consolidation zone right here. Tidy these up a little bit. And remember, the zones are always a what you call it? It's like a belly button or a stomach, right? Sometimes stomachs have rock hard abs. Sometimes those stomachs, have a little push to it, right? So it's kind of the same thing with zones, right? So a big question I always get is how do I mark up zones? And it really comes down to market structure. So today we let me see here. Today's Tuesday. So we have some new FOMC later today, which would be 2 p.m. So the number one name of the game that I'm looking for when it comes down to gold, right? So this is 8:15 basically right now. And then what we're looking to do and identify is the market structure from the pre-New York. So that's the bottom line of what we're trying to achieve. And the bell doesn't ring until 8:30. So until 8:30, I'm not really making a move, right? It's like pre-analysis, pre-setup, mark up my zones, look at this, look at that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm looking to do is find that consolidation zone on gold, right? Well, I'm more of an intraday trader. So I do go to the 5, but, primarily I'm on the 15, 5, 10. I wouldn't really say the 30 that much, but there is that aspect as well. So we caught this move. You might have caught, 50 pips. You might have caught 200 pips. That's a lot of pips. 500 maybe, depending on the move yesterday. But this is what we were catching yesterday. Maybe 300 and some change, maybe a lot more, depending on your entry. Wow, that would have been crazy if you guys held. Did anybody hold this for a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 plus? Anybody hold this from yesterday? Wow, good job, Ray Chad. I cashed out right about there. All right, put a little position in there, took profits right there, took some right down there. I like round numbers, right? So I go zone to zone a lot. So that was my first major zone. That 1 to 2, give or take. And then from here, 1 to 3 was right. 3.5. All right, so that was yesterday. So what we're going to do today is the exact same thing, but we have to find consolidation. This already moved pre to 8:30, so I'm not really looking for this. What I would like this to do, and remember, this week's going to be a little choppy, a little ugly, maybe no setups. I mean, I honestly have no idea. That's why we hop on the charts and see what's going on. But for me, I need that some sort of consolidation for gold. So that's on the intraday level. This has a lot of time to play out, do some things. So it's not really advantageous for right here, right now. However, let's see here on the 1 hour, we're kind of the same thing. What I could see, if you're an overall trader on gold, right? This is what I would be looking for as well. So I'm going to give you 3 concepts here. One is what my bread and butter, the 8:30 open. That's what I love to do because I get in, I get out, I'm done with the day. I was on the call with you guys for a whole hour. Usually I get on at 8:30, right? So minus a half hour, and I get in the trade, I'm done, right? We hit take profit in minutes yesterday. So that's my bread and butter. The second style of trading is the overall move, right? Which I like the 1 hour and 2 hour. It's a whole different set of rules. Not really different psychology, but different timing, right? The 8:30 open is let me digress for a second. When it comes down to gold, right, on the 5 minute, we have two opportunities in the 8:30 to, let's say, noon, right? We have the 8:30 open, which we went over yesterday. And then secondly is we have it's called the midday reversal. If you're taking notes, midday reversal. And so how that works is we're looking for higher highs and higher lows. And then we're looking for it to stop making higher highs and higher lows. And we create this thing called change of structure, right? This is going to be a little bit more lines zigzag down, right? Change of structure, game, my dog. Change of structure. Some people call it change of character. I don't like that terminology. It's a little bit abstract versus like direct. So this is our reversal, right? We're creating higher highs, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low. At some point, all right, we'll tap out, right? And then from this move, you can call it head and shoulders. I don't really like the term because it's not so direct that. You can do a trend line break that helps the visual there. That's cool as well. Let's change these. I don't know when I started doing green color. It's kind of stuck, right? So boom. So yesterday, was no trend. It just drops. It's not like a good example. But we really want those higher highs and the higher lows being met, being formed, and then reversing. So here, what I'm seeing is an opportunity. This is a way more higher. There we go. A higher risk for the sense of so we were creating this double, it's kind of like a triple top here, one touch, two touch. I made the zone bigger, right? Boom. And then we have this little mini consolidation zone. This already impulsed before 8:30. However, what I said about this week, it's a little bit of less predictable, right? Things could happen a little bit different. It's not going to be so clear cut of what it normally does, right? And those concepts that I've listed just now. So what I could see here is price coming down here and doing something like this, which would create this trend, right? I don't like using trend, direct terms because there's no such thing as a trend line in trading, but you can use it. It does help. It does bring confirmation, confluence, and if that works for you, work it. So this is what I'm seeing here. We kind of stopped out here. We started creating these highs, created definitely a high here. So this is what I would be looking for to some degree. Also for the breakouts, right? Remember what I just said though, right? We have two setups within one, right? The same higher highs, higher lows at some point, right? It's going to come here, maybe retest, break out, create another higher high, create another higher low, create equal high, boom, we break structure. That could easily happen. That happens all the time. So I'm gonna give you an example as we're just kind of, waiting, sitting on our hands here. I want to find a beautiful clean out consolidation day. No one ever did it. Here we go. All right, so we're looking at the pre, what you call it? Let's break out. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. All right, so 8 o'clock. So this happens. I don't want to get you guys too confused if you bought my course or you've been learning from me in one of my programs, so to speak. You know the strategy in and out, but just for simplistic sake, here, all right, we have a trend going down, right? We're looking at the pre. This move happens between 10:30 a.m. Eastern and noon, maybe 1, give or take. All right, so we have trend pre 10 a.m. because that's when the 10 a.m. reversal starts. And then what we're seeing here is we're trending down. We're looking for that change of structure. Same concept. Boom, boom, boom. We bottom out. And then we switch ways. Right? That's my reversal strategy in a very simplistic way. Right? So we're coming down here. Boom, higher low. Wait. No. Lower high. I've been teaching for 8 years and I always get tongue twisted. So we're creating a downtrend. So it's going to be lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, equal low, equal lower high, equal lower low, right? So we create the box down here. Let's clean that up a little bit. Boom. Boom. All right, and then it takes off. We suffer a little bit of drawdown here. This is why I do the stacking entries. Boom. 1 to 1, or not 1 to 1, but to equal high. You know, so you got in maybe right there, 1 to 2. Right there, 1 to 2.2. Maybe down here, 1 to 3.241, whatever number. All right, so that's why it's so important for stacking the orders. All right, and if you kind of clean this up even more, I'm gonna lose my spot if I hop to the 10-minute, but you'll see this rejected really well off that as well. So it's a zone, right? This is off the 5-minute. It might change a little bit here on the 10-minute, but nonetheless, right, if you're going to that previous high, zone to zone, which I teach all the time, if you don't get that or understand that yet, maybe you just do it 1 to 2. Right, something like that. It actually goes right there with that as well. A generic stop loss is 50% in the zone. So let's honor that. So your 50% is really about right there. Give or take, right? And then she pops up. Comes close to the stop loss, but nonetheless, depending on your entry and stack positions, you got a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 there. So that's the move within the move, right? So you could have easily on this breakout, if you notice here, before the happens at noon Eastern, right? So that's 12. So the con for me, at least out of this strategy, it's not so bang, 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 right? You have a window of 2 to 3 hours where it happens. Some days I'm busy. I have 3 other companies. I do a lot, right? Family life, I work out, blah, 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 right? All this stuff you probably have to some degree. So for me, I'm not able to be at my computer. I'm traveling. I was in Guatemala all last week, whatever. So my point in sharing all this with you is sometimes I can't trade the strategy because I don't have leisure rest of the day. Sometimes I have more of an open day. So hey, Bell, I love this strategy because it's more clear cut. All right, to me, because it's a setup to have a setup. All right, if that makes sense, right? You have to have the downtrend to reverse the trend. Right? Or the uptrend to reverse the uptrend to make a downtrend. So I really like this strategy. It's very, very simple. Game. It's okay, buddy. And it's beautiful, right? So we could have this. The reason I'm showing you this, yes, it's a strategy of mine. The 2 that I just went over, those are my bread and butter. All right. Those are my bread and butter. Hey, it's okay, dude. I know. I know. Ooh, that's an ugly 15-minute candle. So I'm chilling here. I'm chilling. I don't like this 15 candle at all for a breakout at all. I mean, we got a lot of time left, right? But this could easily be a reversal candle creating a bank heist. And it's at 8:15, right? So we're not even at the 8:30 candle. And this could easily reject and go up. You know what I mean? So what I would be looking for here is to honor the 830 open is actually is if this consolidates just a little bit. And you could buy this right now. It's a lot higher risk. All right, because we're not waiting to the 15 open. I'm a very time-based, rule-based strategist, right? If my rules don't get met, then I don't take the trade. But this is a pretty clean setup. $33, 40 pip stop loss. You know, breakout, retest, reject, boom, go up, right? I'm really good for this month in the sense of profitability and good standing. So I if you are going to risk that, go small risk, right? Don't risk what you shit. What happened? That was weird. Oh, I was trading view glitching for a second. Boom. Where's that 15 looking though? Got 3 minutes left. That's just a very indifferent candle on that 15. Look at that 30. Got 3 minutes. Say big rejection candle. So that's why I'm saying I you know, do whatever you want, but I don't see that as advantageous. What I would be looking for once again is maybe for this to create another higher high and then trade the breakout. Right? So I would love for this to do this. Right? I'm a stickler for my rules. I don't take a lot of trades weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. I take 2 to 3 trades a week. All right. But if I can go and I don't have the ego to I don't need to be 100%, 90%. I've been in this game long enough to know the stats, to run the stats, right? Even if I go 2 wins and 1 loss, that's a 66% win rate. That's not freaking stellar, awesome, you know, swing for the park, defenses, whatever, right? But if you're 66% accurate and you're doing a minimum of a 1 to 2, right? So I risk 2% to make 4. All right, so 1 to 2. I make 4. That's 8. I lose 2, right? Percent. I'm down to 6. 6% a week times 4 weeks in a month, right? That is 24% a month. That is out freaking standing, right? Maybe you don't even trade a whole week, right? You're 18% for the month. That is a lot. That's very good. All right. So just giving you perspective, understanding, years of being in the game, et cetera, et cetera. So this 30 doesn't really look that good here. If we do get a move, then cool, we can do that move. Come on. No, it's not. There. All right, but right now we're kind of getting, you know, smacked here. All right, because what we have a nice key level on the 30 right there. Oh, and you have a bottom zone. This is a really good structure, honestly, on the 30. So as we see here on the, we got 2 minutes left, 1 minute. Yeah, 15 is really like saying, hey, we're not okay going up yet. I'll turn bearish, 30. 5 seconds. So we're good old sit on our hands. Sure. And that's not an engulfing candle, which I thought it might be. So what engulfing candle is a good teaching moment. And remember, chase, I don't like using the word of chase, but using this very lightly is people always want the money, right? You don't want the money. It's like, do you want the $1 million or do you want to become the person of the $1 million? right? Because you can take away the million, now you're left with nothing, right? You can't get it back. You can't because you never got it. You were given it, right? But if you, I don't like using this term, but if you chase the skill, if you attract, create, dominate the skill, the money will always come because you are the 6, 7, 8 figure trader or whatever it is. You are the millionaire, right? So the education is way more important than the actual money, right? Because the money's always going to come. And we did exactly what I was talking about. Bada bing, bada boom. We're just gonna kind of sit on our hand. You guys have some setups you want me to? Oh, chat. All right, cool. 5 minute. Boom, boom, boom. On what time are you drawing your correlated to? So on this, I'm always on the 5, 10, and 15. All right, so this is the 5 minute chart here. So I'm marking up my structure. So I like if I get on the charts, I go to the 5 minute, right? Boom. I mark up my zones. I come back here to the 15 just to make them clean, right? Because like down here, if you just saw me, this is a zone, all right? So I want to honor that, right? So if price breaks and it breaks into the zone, that's not a break. We would need a closure outside of this, right? But if we go here to the 5 minute, maybe we go here to the 5 minute, I want to honor that. I don't want it up here, right? Because that technically broke. So I want to honor that. So I clean it up on the 15 to have the broader range of zone. There we go. One blank for a second. So boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't be surprised if gold does break out here. I honestly wouldn't. That wick is very enticing for a continuation move. And if we get this 15 to kind of like prop up bullish here, that would be very in line. Chat box. Boom. Should be careful at the FOMC. Yes, of course. Always, 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 always. Yeah, anytime there's news, right? I'm always either not trading or under leveraging. Right. So it's up to you. Like I create a whole brand new account just for the rest of this year. Right. I'm not trying to swing for the fences, right? This is the time to sharpen your skill, do your thing, but 10 grand, 20 grand, 5 grand, 50 grand, whatever you're trading with. Nice, Michael. Yeah, I don't really trade SPX anymore. How do you calculate how much money you are risking? So that comes down to what your account size is, right? So easy math, right? If you are, everybody has a different trading balance. I would say $1,000 is kind of normal. Maybe $500, right? Let's just say $500, right? $500 if you're trading, if you're asking that question, you definitely want to be risking no more than 1%. Get the skill first and then up the risk, right? There's no, like, it blows my mind, right? And this is one thing I had a challenge with understanding in the very beginning. People have no idea how to trade. In the beginning, people don't know how to trade, but they're willing to risk their whole $500 in their trading account or $250 in their trading account. But you have no idea what you're doing. That sounds, and I'll be very straightforward here because I need to hear it. That sounds like one of the most stupidest things I've heard. You don't know how to trade. You haven't made 5 figures, 10,000 in withdrawals plus, right? But you want to risk 10, 20, 30% of your account, 40% of your account, but you're not even there yet. It's like, I have no idea how to stick drive, right? Manual drive, stick shift. Right? I've never driven a car in my life, but I'm going to go 150 miles an hour in a Ferrari. That just sounds stupid. All right. I needed to hear that in the beginning. All right. So when you're looking at your trading career, if you're not profitable over 60, 90 days, you need to be risking 1-2%. Well, Luke, I'm not really making much money. You don't know what you're doing. So you're not in the position to make money. You're in the position to learn the freaking skill. And then when you learn the skill, then you make money. It really is 2 + 2 = 4. Right? This is what's important, the psychology of this. All right. It just think about that analogy, that concept for a second, right? You get the skill, then you make the money. There's been many times, myself included, right, where I've taken a trade, I've made money, but I broke my rules. That's not a good trade. That's a bad trade. Just because you made money doesn't mean it's a good trade. I would rather do the opposite. I would rather take a really good trade, right? My rules, my confirmations. I lose the trade. I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, Luke, I followed everything to the T. I did what I'm supposed to do. I did this. I waited for that. I did the entry technique. Everything was perfect. I just lost. Cool. I can take that all day, right? But when it comes down to winning the trade, like, damn, I didn't even wait for that confirmation. I really got a crappy entry. And I won the trade. That's called luck, right? And that does happen. I'm just really hitting the psychology as we're watching paint dry here for a second. Great questions, though. Nas, I don't trade Nas. I'll leave that with Bobby, but I will go over that. I mean, I'll go over what I got on Nas. I am not the magician on Nas. I can trade it, I'm sure. I've never done it, right? I haven't traded Nas 100 in, I think, 2020, right? 4 years ago, I traded. I trade gold and I trade a little SPX here or there. Can you go over your 2 strategies again? I mean, I did. I will go over it here in a second. It's not going to do you a service to, so I'm not going to go. I don't have the time to go in depth with them. XPX moves exactly how gold does. Is your average stop loss about 40 pips for gold? Yes. I say that with a disclaimer, like, it's, you said it in the question usually, but just to make that super clear, is, oh, look at gold trying to go up now. Look at that. Yes, 40 pips, give or take, right? If I were to enter this buy, if it met my rules, blah, blah, I would have a 45 pip stop loss, give or take. So obviously my take profits are 80, 100, 150, somewhere in there for that 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk reward. But yes, generally, loosely saying, what do you think of Coca-Cola stock? I have no idea, Jazz. I've never looked at stocks, nor will I ever. I want to say ever, because I never say never or ever. But 99.9%, I'll never trade stocks. I don't care about them. I don't look at them. Of course. You was about to show us the difference. Okay, the Lamont, thank you. It's kind of sometimes challenging to give you as much as I can in an hour, right? There's 8 years of so much I can go over. So what an engulfing candle, a railroad candle, etc., is when the candle, this is a bullish candle, right? This is a bearish candle. So a engulfing candle, right? A bullish, or wow, a engulfing candle is when the candle exactly eats the previous candle, or right, it eats the previous 2 or 3 candles. Right, so a beautiful, and it's on a zone. That's a big key there. So an engulfing candle, kind of beautiful, beautiful one. I want to show you like a perfect one, and then I'm not so perfect. I don't want to spend full time trying to find it. There we go. All right. Boom. This is the 2 hour. So see how this candle right here eats these two and it's on a zone? Oh, boom, double top, right? Come out here, fake out, come back in, drop, right? So this is my stop hunt strategy, bank high strategy. I'm not going to go super in depth with this, but just to show you what the answer in that question, right? So this candle eats these previous candles, creating a bearish engulfing candle, right? It's eating the previous candles. And then also, if it's exactly identical, that's even better, right? To answer that question, Lamont. Boom. No, Alonso, I don't trade during London. What's the minimum deposit for your broker? Any withdrawal limitations, Stefan? So the broker has no withdrawal limitations, right? You make a withdrawal, you get your withdrawal. And then to your second question about the minimum deposits, $100 works. It's all on the broker website. Dude, we're just chilling here. What, New York in 20 minutes? Oh, you're asking about Nas. So, personal disclaimer, I have digressed. Every pair has a personality. If you've heard me teach at any capacity, this is the 1,000th and 104th time you've heard this. Every pair has a personality. Every pair moved at a certain time. Every pair, like, I used to, back in the day, there's this thing called swipe trade, right? And all these traders, like, I know how to trade gold, blah, blah. And I showed them how they didn't know how to trade gold in the sense of gold does not respect indicators. This doesn't respect Fibonacci. It does not respect Bollinger Bands or TDI or whatever indicator you want to talk about. Market structure, fluidity, price action is a huge component of gold, right? So I say that to say this is I have not traded NAS 100 in 5 years. So I don't look at it. I don't mark it up. I don't know when it moves, how it moves, nothing. Right. So I have zero. I don't know if you guys, I used to play sports heavily, right? When you play your opponent, you watch film on them, whether it's UFC, John Jones, right? Arguably the best UFC fighter. He watches tape, right? Previous fights about that fighter. Football, American football, soccer, whatever, right? You're studying your opponent. In Forex, right? The opponent is you, but it's the charts to some degree, right? So I have no idea how Nas 100, moves, right? I can show you how I would trade it, but that doesn't like I need to study a little bit, at least do some back testing and see how she does her thing. Because I haven't traded it. So this is what I would be looking at here, though, if I were to trade it, which I'm not. And I'll let Bobby really go more in depth because he trades Nas 100 like I trade gold. I have a special relationship with gold. Me and her love each other, right? We make money together and we're Gucci. Nas, I just met her at a party. I mean, I don't know anything about her. I don't even know her. I just know her name. I don't know if she likes sports, what food, what color. Like I don't know anything about her. Right. So this is a shooting in the dark, is what I like to say. So here, what I would be looking for, which I'm not, is something like that. Keeping it super, super simple. Right. This could easily do a reversal. So we might possibly so I'm not we could easily be doing something like this. Right. It's ugly, but stop hunt. Super ugly. Right. So I let Bobby really go over that more in depth because, like I said, I'm just. And if you notice, look at that. Boom. Looks almost exactly like. Dude, gold. What are you doing? And digressing for a second, if you look at main days, FOMC, NFP, CPI, ISM, those big high impact news events, what happens is I think someone was asking about, the news later today. And just because it's not happening until 2 Eastern, usually what happens is the pre of that is nothing happens, right? Because it's waiting, getting all funky, getting all set up for the news of, excuse me, the news event. If you notice, like gold usually is moving right now. This is a big fake out, whatever. But like, I mean, it's 8:30, 45, whatever. Usually it's at least doing something. I mean, these past few candles, we're just kind of like watching paint dry. Oh, we're down to 90K. Almost 90K, 91. Remember to take partials on the way up, guys. Take partials on the way up. Shit, if you guys are holding your bag from 45K, 50K, 60K, I don't want to say you should have, but it'd be smart to take some profits at 91, 95, 100, et cetera, et cetera. Come on, XRP. Do your thing, baby. Go to all-time high. All right. Questions as we're watching paint dry on gold. What's this looking at? Ooh, we're probably going down. If this turns bearish on this 1 hour, probably going to go down. I can never make guarantees. That looks super clean. The only thing I don't like trying to look for this sell is this isn't really a strong zone here. See how it's like you can make a case, like ignore this big impulse out, right? You can make a case for this as a consolidation. But if I look left, this is what I'm talking about, is I look left, this doesn't all match up. Maybe if I go here to that's a 10-minute. I mean, even uglier on the 5, right? It kind of pokes out, comes back in, pokes about, but here it's fairly solid. 15, what we got? 15, where we at? 30. And even kind of not uglier, but see what I'm saying? Like, it's not clean, beautiful serendipity, right? Yesterday's setup. Boom. 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 All right, you broke out, create a higher high, create a higher low, came back up, try to create a higher high. It got stopped at, not like stop loss, but create an equal high here and then drop your entries down there after the break. Here, all of this, I don't like this a lot, right? We poked out, we came back in, we poked our head out, we came back in. Like, that tells me that's not a strong zone where it's really, really clean structure. Right. Let's go to Wednesday last week. Same thing here. I mean, this is really, small but very clean structure. We have a double top, we have a double bottom. Right. That's what we want. Double tops and double bottom. Higher high, higher low, higher high, rejection, higher low, continuation. We have a double top, touch, touch. Right. I know this is the 5-minute, but I just want to give you a visual, maybe. All right, what do we have here? We have M and W, double top, double bottom. Boom, touch. Boom, touch. All right, so double top. We have a double bottom. Boom, touch. Come back up. Touch. All right, so it's not beautiful. We're on the 5-minute too, right? So off the 1 hour, 4 hour beat, that's as beautiful we can get. All right, so we're coming over here today. All right. One touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, 5 touch, right? So we're on a very strong zone over here, but it doesn't match up over here. So that's why I'm saying it's just a higher risk if you are looking to get into the sell. You'd be looking for something like that. Right. Same entry technique, guys, as always, right? 3 entries, stack them. You can do more. You know, if you're doing one lot, maybe you do 0.1 times 10, right? You got trigger friendly, trigger happy finger, right? You're like, oh, I just want to stack more. That's completely fine. You know, 3 is just kind of my sweet spot, right? You can do 5 entries, 10 entries. You're spreading that risk out. And the whole point of spreading well, I just said it, but the whole point of having multiple entries is spread your risk out, right? So you're not blowing your whole shot and getting a crappy entry, then it goes deeper in drawdown. And you're like, dang, I could have got a 1 to 4 instead of a 1 to 2. Well, if you just was a little bit more patient, right, that could have happened. Right? Chat box. SPX might break. Boom, boom, boom. Swap signals. Swipe gold signals. Yeah, right. Sure. Do I ever look at higher time frames? No, I don't. Not with this. What I'm showing you is what I do. All right. So if we get this breakout in 3 minutes, guys, like go lower risk. It's some crappier week. This isn't beautiful structure. Right. It's there, but it's slightly not. So we're looking for something like this. You got that first zone right there. All right. Your 1 to 1 or 1 to 2, I should say, is right ish there. It's actually a really good zone. It's like spot on. Why? Because look at that. All right. Reject, reject. So if and when this closes below the zone, gotta be patient here. We'd want a small pullback. We scale in on that pullback. Super asterisk here. This is not a clean setup. Right? This is not a clean setup. This is not the time to over leverage. This is not the trade, let alone the week to risk 5-10%, let alone more. This is a great week to go demo. This is a great, I want to say go demo. I'm not a big believer in demo. I'm a big believer in getting the risk psychology out there. If you cannot risk 0.01, right, and losing 50 bucks, or sorry, 50 pips, which is $5, it's probably not for you trading, right? So I say that unless you have never taken a trade in your life and you don't even know what the sell limit or market execution is, I always recommend going live. Right. Because even if you lose 200 pips, it's $20. Right. If you're not in a position to lose $20 and that's going to make or break you, trading probably is not for you yet. This is a higher risk setup. Once again, please, please, please. Right. This is not a beautiful setup. This is not a sexy setup. For the 15th time. Yes, we're doing the 3 entry technique, Pallavi. Same as always, every day, same setup, same entry technique, same everything. Ooh, we might get rejection here. This is why it's important. Dude, this setup's ugly. I don't quite like this. She pulled up all the way. Now, this is a high risk. I mean, I'm not going to be entering this, at least for me. She pulled up a lot. So I'm kind of chilling right now. She could drop, but like, if you want to do a test position, that's fine. Do a small entry, that's fine. But I thought she was going to at least close down here. This is not rejecting the zone. This has a high probability to stay above this. Um, and remember what I said, all this noise, right? Came up here, faked out. Came up here, faked out. Right? So like this has an opportunity to come down here, fake out. I'm not uh, looking to enter the trade. I was when it was down here. So let me go in depth a little bit why. This is actually a really good teaching day. This wick, oh, let's do this. This wick is 33 pips long. This candle is 20 pips long, right? So what does that tell me? This is a beautiful teaching moment. Please do not let this go over your head. This is a form of a kangaroo tail. Luke, what are you talking about? This is a form of a kangaroo, right? Kangaroo tail, meaning, right, that a key point in a kangaroo tail, right, right, is when the wick is much longer than the body. That means the rejection is in power. The opposite of what the candle is trying to do is in power. However you want to word that, right? This is longer than the actual body. Okay? So to me, the sellers are not in power anymore. And this is key when it's on a zone, right? And it could come back down here and drop, and whatever. But this is not an advantageous setup. We got what, 100 pips to go from here to here. Jesus. Right. So this is if this candle closes back in the zone, it's definitely not good. If it closes maybe down here, then cool, we got something to talk about. But I don't like this as a break. I don't like this as the candle. I don't like this as anything, right? Because that's a 30 pip wick versus a 20 pip body, right? That just not flowing right. Nas is just chilling. SPX is chilling. Oh. But that little teaching moment right there, that could save you from a lot of losses. Saved me for a lot of losses. Okay. That's this is uh this is what I'm talking about. This type of trading this time of slightly this year. It's like, dude, whatever you're gonna do, just do it. If you're gonna go up, make your thing go up. Cool. We'll have a plan of action. If you're gonna go down, cool. But this oh, we're just at 15 close. All right. Well, good. All right. See how that's a great lesson right there. Do not the kangaroo tail, right? Body or the wick more than the body on its own. It's a high opportunity for rejection. If you're risking 0.02 for 20 pips, what is the risk? Well, it depends on like what your account size is. Right? Your risk is a correlation of the lot size, your stop loss, and your account size. Okay. Are we looking to buy or sell now? We are looking to do absolutely nothing yet. I mean, I could force something here, guys. This potentially looks like a drop here from the 1 hour. We're just going to drop here to this bottom zone. None of my strategies are meeting up in the morning. If I was just going to do some simple technical analysis, I'd be looking for the sell here. Just being super transparent with you guys, my strategy is not meeting up. The rules of confirmation, the setup is not there. But based off just pure analysis, right, technical analysis with no rules confirmations, right, we have a nice double bottom here. We have a nice double top here, right? We have a rejection candle here. We had a big impulse candle here as well. So I see this coming down. If I were to have to take this trade, this is what I would be looking at, right? Very simple. But my actual strategy, right, is not being met with the parameters, right? Here on the 15, we do have an impulse candle coming in, boom, retest. This can kind of create a stop hunt. I do see that at the same time here on the 30, but I don't trade. This isn't a strategy, it's just a technical analysis, right? Higher highs, higher lows, moving this way, moving that way, etc. Yeah. I would, if I were to take this, I'd be wanting to do this. I don't see any trend now. This is FOMC later. You, like I said, usually when there's FOMC later at 2 p.m. Eastern, it's like the time's good at 8, 9, 10, but like the setup before whatever is very ugly. So I'm not going to give you guys something that I wouldn't take. All right. I'm not going to give you guys something just to give you something, right? To feed the greed, because I don't want you to lose money, let alone me lose money. And I just don't see something good enough to execute on for this morning, right? Sometimes the best trade's no trade. And I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, it looks good and try to wing it for you guys in the hope to win a trade for y'all. But I do like I'll leave you guys with this, right? Bobby's coming on here in a second. I like this setup. Like I said, it just doesn't fit my strategy. But I do like it. Why? Because right here, I just went over the double top, right? Boom, we have a very rejection candle. We have 2 bearish candles here on the 1 hour for the sell, the downward move, as well as the 30, as well as the 15 has a big stop hunt candle to create a bank heist, as well as the 10-minute. It just doesn't fit my strategy. That's the only reason I'm kind of going back and forth with this. If I have to debate, and just this is years of teaching myself, if I have to debate or make a case for a trade, I do not take it. If I have to justify to take a trade, I do not take it. The only trades I take now are like, dude, that is a sexy freaking trade. Heck yeah, hell yeah, right? Oh my God, dude, you see that move? Ah, boom, boom, boom. That looks beautiful. That's how I move in life. Unless if it's not an F yes, it's an F no. Right? That's how I operate in life these days, right? I don't take so-so. I don't take, okay, it kind of looks good. I'm talking about trading. I'm talking about any quality or any aspect of my life, right? Traveling. It seems like a cool country to go to. No. Unless it's like, dude, that country is beautiful. I want to go there and visit there, right? I'm not doing it. Right? Like my tolerance for that is just not what it was when it was like that. So it's more of a guarantee. As you see, this could definitely just keep continuing to move down. And then that's what I'm trying to say here is like, where's the setup for the sell? It's honestly not really there. All right. The entry off the 5 I mean, we could do this right here. Yeah, I already touch and go, but it just doesn't meet my qualifications, you know? That's what I would have done, but like I said, it doesn't meet my strategy. Looks good. Stop hunt, bank heist, but I don't do bank heist on gold. I don't do stop hunts on gold. I do my market structure rules confirmation. So. All right, last questions. Let me look in the chat. Boom, boom, boom. Waiting equals no risk. Exactly. Don't force it. Stick to your rules. Exactly. Yesterday's beautiful set. And exactly. You took yesterday's setup. You did a 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, whatever. Like you're actually good for the week. Right? Of course I'm on. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get going for the day. Let me look at. Yeah, I just. If you guys have a setup you want me to look at really quick, I'll look at it. But I just don't see anything on gold that's advantageous to get in to risk money. I told you about SPX. If I were to trade it, same thing with Nas. I don't really trade SPX anymore either. But I would be looking for that breakout to the upside. Bobby's going to come on here in like 20 minutes. So I'm sure he's the master at Nas. So I would be looking for this, right? I mean, it's a lot of price action, right? So we could do this, boom, stop hunt, go to the downside. If we create a support here, we could look for a buy opportunity there as well. But when I did trade indices, I didn't trade now. I traded around 10, about an hour from now. So have that in mind too. So, alrighty, guys. Well, off to the next trader for the Tradeathon. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here on Thanksgiving on Thursday as well. Don't crucify me. If there's no trade, I'm not going to take a trade just to risk it, just to feed the greed. I will be on Thursday. At least we'll coach, we'll teach, we'll go over setups, ideas. We'll go over some psychology. We'll go over some price action and rules and confirmation of the strategy. And I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Hop on the rest of today's calls. I'll see you guys next time. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Talk soon.